Welcome back, everybody. This is a fun talkie-walkie. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin right now. I've got no guests. It's just me. It's just me walking and talking with you. I thought on this episode, I'm going to answer the most popular questions that people ask me. So I have a list of them. They're on my phone. But before I get to that, came home to see my parents. It was my birthday like a week ago, so I went to see them. And not for that, but we had a little birthday party for me yesterday, but it was also Mother's Day on Sunday. So I got to see my mom and haven't been home since Christmas. And usually in Wisconsin, in May, the weather fluctuates. As you can tell, I'm wearing my mom's winter jacket and her hat because I did not pack that. I did not think I needed that, but I did. Definitely did. All right. So I'm just walking around the town I grew up in. Now, when Ben Simon and I did this talkie-walkie, we kind of walked in the same area, although I'm on a different side of town, different side of the tracks. But maybe we'll see Ben's family. His parents still live here. Okay. Anyway, let us get to the questions. I haven't seen all of these yet. So they came in and I just copied them and pasted them into one document here. So thank you for submitting these questions. I'll try and read them as we go. Okay, what inspired you to be a comedian and how did you get started in the industry? I only laugh because in the industry, so it's such a funny thing to say for someone. In the industry, what inspired me to be a comedian? I always just liked making people laugh. I think that's fun. It makes me feel good. Selfish, isn't it? But it makes me feel good to make other people laugh, I guess. And also, like, for some sick, perverted reason, I love self-deprecation. I don't know why, but if I could put myself down and make other people feel good about themselves, that's fine. Like, that's fine with me. How did I get started in the industry? I don't even know I'm in the industry yet. Am I? Who knows? What is the industry? The business? I mean, I was doing, I don't know. That's a weird question in the industry. I don't know if I'm industry yet. We'll see. As a comedian and juggler, oh no. How did you blend these two skills to create your unique style of comedy? Well, I mean, how did I do it? When I was putting together my juggling show, I was just always thinking, what would I want to see if I was in the audience? Now, that's an answer that a lot of people... I'm going to cross the street here because there's people doing lawn work and I don't want to have the noise be bad. There's, I would always just want to see, like, I would put on the show that I would want to see. And I still try and do that if I'm in the audience, if I'm writing jokes today, not juggling, but for stand-up, I try to think, okay, if I'm in the audience, what would I want to see a guy talk about? What interests me? And then I try to just do that. And I think a lot of people will have that same answer, but it's easier said than done. The juggling, though, I don't know. I just juggled. And then I was funny. But the thing is, it's hard to be funny while you're juggling, but I tried to do that. Like maybe facial expressions or stuff, but yeah. I don't think I did a good job answering that question. I do apologize. All right. How do you blend? Yeah, you just kind of blend them. You just kind of do it. Trial and error. That's my answer for that. Can you share a memorable experience from performing live on stage that still makes you laugh today? Oh man, I've had so many things happen to me on stage that make me laugh. And sometimes I forget about them. Sometimes they're just like inside jokes, but let me see. I've had so many weird things happen. Oh, once I was performing on a cruise and right before the show, there was a man overboard call. That means someone jumped over the ship. The ship had to quickly stop, turn around, then look for said passenger. And right before my show, so everyone's kind of in like a bad mood because someone just died on the ship. Like someone everyone just was hanging out with is now dead. That's so sad. I'm only laughing because I then had to go do my comedy show, but then during the show there was a call in the PA system that said false alarm. So it wasn't really, there wasn't a dead, thankfully no one died before the show. But I did make a joke, maybe too soon, but I did make a joke after that we found out there was a false alarm that I was like, man, I know some people didn't want to see my show tonight, but I wouldn't have done that. Or something like that. I always try to punch at myself. Not punch down, but punch up at my face. Okay. Other things that happened during shows. Oh man, I got nosebleed once during a show, and I just kind of like snorted, like it was like kind of like sucked the blood back into my face. That only happened once. Oh man, I'm sure I've had to like use the bathroom during a show, and those are just like, you just kind of clench. You just kind of clench the whole time. Hope it goes away. I did a show like 3 days ago or 2 days ago here in Milwaukee. I just got on this show, and as soon as I got up there, I say, hey, it's nice to be here. I'm from Wisconsin. And then some people in the audience who I do not know yelled, you're from Shorewood. Which is true, I am from Shorewood, but how do they know that? How do you come up with your material? What's your creative process like when it comes to developing jokes? Great question, because one of my favorite topics to talk about is writing jokes and writing material. So I have an office in my apartment, and above my office is bulletin? What do you call like a board? Is it bulletin board? It's like a bulletin board. And I thumbtack like note cards on there with my jokes. It's kind of maybe like a dorky way of doing it, but I like to just write. Like I plan like an hour, and I write jokes. And I just write and I write and I write, and then I get up on my feet, and I try to perform it, and I try to see if there's anything I get because I don't like just writing and sitting down. I like to get up. Because when you're doing comedy, you're not just sitting down. You're up on your feet and you're writing. So I like to do that. I like to get up. If I have an idea, I kind of talk through it. Talk through it like you would like a book report or something. Kind of talk about the ideas. And sometimes when I'm rambling, I'm able to make a joke, connect the joke that way. A lot of times I'll do the method where if you want to write about, you can't just write about baseball. You need to write about another topic and try to blend the two together. So, for example, if you're talking about baseball and banking, just two random thoughts, but you would make a list, or I would, for my writing process, for some jokes, I would make a list of everything I think of when I think of banking. People in banks, companies, words, cliches, celebrities that have to do with banking. So Chase Bank, Bank of America, I would just think of all the banks, credit unions, drive-through, and then try to think of like waiting, checking, savings, Vanguard, BlackRock, and just think of all these things about, this is the first time I've gotten really embarrassed because this person's creeping and they're like, what is he doing? I hope no one recognizes me. I don't think they did. Okay. I only say that because I grew up here, not because I think I'm famous, for the record. And then you do the same thing with baseball, write all the team names, write the players I'm so old, like the most famous baseball player I have in my head is Robin Yount. Gosh darn it. Or Cal Ripken Jr. or Sammy Sosa. Or who is that guy that Sammy Sosa? I can never think of it. But you write down the mascots, the team names, World Series. I actually performed at a baseball event. But anyway, you write the two of those down, and then you try to see if there are any good parallels between the two. And I don't have the list in front of me, and I need to write it down to then see how like two of these things could make a joke. But that's kind of how I sometimes do it. But I definitely get up and I write. Well, a lot of my ideas, though, they do come late at night, right before I sleep. And then I open my phone and I write a joke down. For example, I will show you. Right. Well, I'm not going to show you, but I'll read you what I thought was a joke. All right. Let's see if there's any good jokes here. A lot of them are video ideas. Oh, you remember those videos where people were like, I'm a pilot. Of course I fly planes. Or like some, those I'm a videos. I was thinking of doing one that's like, I'm a 30-year-old cast as a high school kid. Just something where I didn't say it was funny, but I did write it down in my phone. But you do that like 5 or 6 times a night when you get these ideas. Then you wake up in the morning. And one of them's got to be like semi-usable, you'd think, right? At least one of them. So that's how I kind of write. And then I used to really think writing with other people was fun, but no one really knows like my voice but me. So I kind of stopped. I'll still write with friends, but to get different perspectives and tags and stuff. But I just like writing by myself. So sometimes when people ask to hang out, hey, do you want to write? I'm like, not really. All right, let's see. Okay, that was number 4. Number 5, what's the biggest challenge you faced in your comedy career? Ugh. And how did you overcome it? I'm facing it right now. My biggest challenge I've ever faced, I'm facing it right now, which is I want to get more shows. I want to do more shows. And I want to have a bigger following. So please share my material with people please. Once you have a posse, a crew that follows, that goes to your shows, you're set. That's good. So I'm trying to build that. I got a mailing list. I got this podcast. I post clips daily. I try to communicate heavily with my followers. The writing, the comedy part is the fun part. To me, it's hard, but the hardest part is, getting your tribe of people that want to come see you. I still don't know how to do it. I should. Like, I'm able to sell tickets, but sometimes in some areas, but it's not always the easiest. So that's my biggest issue. That's my biggest challenge. Who are some of your comedic influences? And how have they shaped your approach to comedy? First of all, you don't know how much stress I have reading out loud a question, hoping there's not like a word in there I don't know that everyone else knows. Always very self-conscious about that in school. And my pants are slowly falling down, so I gotta pull them up. My comedy influences, all right, this is an easy, okay, I'm gonna start. Andy Kaufman, Steve Martin, brilliant. Rory Scovel, Mark Norman, TJ Miller. Those are like, those guys right there are so funny. Maria Bamford is hilarious. Zach Galifianakis, his earlier stuff, like Live at the Purple Onion, it's pretty great. Dimitri Martin, I like the way his brain works. Just walk down Wood Place. Man, I just like people. So there's the comedians. When it comes to like juggling, Jay Gilligan and Wes Peden are like the only 2 guys that I like will watch their juggling videos just because they're so good. Man, I don't know. Comedic. I thought this was going to be an easier question to answer, but I think that's it. I really like Ian Bagg too. He's really good at crowd work. Ian's really funny. Lenny Marcus in New York is really funny. Jeff Arcuri, it's great. Yeah, there's a lot of good people in New York, in the New York scene, that are coming up that I think are great. Ethan Simmons Patterson is going to be a household name pretty soon. But yeah, Brian Regan, of course, Tom Green, legends. Some of them I feel like it goes without saying, like Andy Kaufman and Steve Martin. Like, obviously those are people that I really, really like. But I really just like people that are just like silly and have fun on stage. All right, you performed on various platforms, from late night shows to comedy festivals. Do you have a favorite type of audience or venue to perform in? Great question. I do like, so I'm doing more comedy clubs now, and those are pretty fun. Me and Corey B have been, I'm either featuring for him or co-headlining. Depends who books the show. If he books the show, I'm featured for him. But if I book the show, we're co-headlining. And and the comedy clubs we've been doing have been so fun. But I'm also really enjoying performing in theaters. I've done that since my juggling days. And a theater show is just so fun. And especially when they're with you and everything is clicking. That's magic. I do like the clubs in the city. The Comedy Cellar, of course, is such a famous and iconic venue. I have yet to perform at the Comedy Store in LA, but hopefully soon. I like, just like, I performed at, I did a brewery, a brewery. Of course, I'm in Milwaukee, so there's tons of them. I did that on Sunday, and you know, it's not like built for comedy, but it was like a great crowd. So, you know, anywhere where the crowd is good, I like performing. It doesn't really, because you can have a shitty audience in a theater. That's not fun then. You know what I mean? That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. All right, just depends where the good crowd is. If you're a good crowd, I'll love it. I'll love it. It could even be a cruise ship that has a good crowd. Okay, question 8. How do you handle hecklers or unexpected situations during your performances? The best way to handle a heckler is to not stoop to their level, I think, and to also just like kick them out, right? Because you can do that if you're the comic and there's someone bothering you. You can. It is hard at times because, you know, your persona, if you will. Oh God, that sounds so gross to say, but when you're on stage, you are playing a version of yourself, even though it is you. It is my authentic self. And it is hard sometimes when you're in the pocket and there's someone making noise to tell them to be quiet without sounding like a dick or being rude. But sometimes they just don't know that they're being loud, and you just have to politely say, hey, can you guys hold on? You guys will want to hear this, or say something to that effect, so they still feel respected. Because I've talked loud in the audience before, not knowing that I was disrupting a show. I mean, not for a long time, but it happens. It happens. So I would just be nice. Now, if you get a heckler, someone who's like, yo, you suck, dude, I would lay into them real quick without any regrets. And I've done that before, and I try to do it in a funny way. I'm not mean, but usually if they're being mean, I just get quiet, and then I have security come and get them. Bye. No refunds. No refunds. Can you tell us about any upcoming projects or shows you're excited about? I'm excited about all the shows I have coming up. Corey and I are doing it. New Hampshire, sold out. Boston, that will sell out. Tampa, tickets just on sale. Tampa, August 7th. Orlando, August 8th. Pittsburgh, August 2nd through the 3rd. I mean, we're going everywhere. It's going to be so fun. I look forward to all the shows. And projects, I got some videos that I haven't posted yet that I'm excited to post. I got some ideas for videos. The Jesus on the Train video I did well, if you ask me, I think it did pretty good. And it's going to, I have a video in mind that hopefully tops that. I'm shooting that in like 2 weeks. I mean, the Jesus on the train, one of those videos got like 10.6 million views. That's like really good for me. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm always excited about new videos, new ideas, stuff like this. Do I have any pre-show rituals or routines to get yourself in the right mindset before performing? I usually will text my wife, say, I'm on next. She says, love you, and I say, love you. But no ritual. I just like, I make my set before I even go to the club. So I never go to the club or the theater or the bar or the or the restaurant or the brewery. I never like go there without a set list already made. I'll have it written out, and I won't even necessarily refer to it, but I just like to know what I'm going to talk about. So I'll do that in advance. But then, I just kind of am living in the moment. There's nothing I need to do, like touch every light switch in the building or something. No, I just kind of do the show, and I hope it's a good show. I hope it is a good one. All right. In your opinion, we have a few more questions left. We're almost there. In your opinion, what makes a great comedy special or performance? In my opinion, I like people who think like outside the box. And I like I'm a sucker for a good documentary, especially when you can do like half special, half doc. Like I'm thinking about something like that for my first special. I don't have one yet, but when I make one, I think it'll be nice to have a good, like, I don't know. I like watching documentaries, not necessarily like reality shows, but I do get a kick out of a good documentary. So I like watching that, something outside the box. As long as you're self-aware, I think I'll enjoy your special. All right, let's see here. How do you stay motivated and continue to evolve as a comedian, especially during challenging times? These are all very well worded. There is a dog. Oh, that's a big boy. Ugh, how do I stay motivated? It's the only thing I can do. I don't have any other backup plan. So this is it. So I just got to do it. There's nothing else that I can do well that I've found yet. So that's how. What's the most unexpected place or situation you found inspiration for comedy material? Well, my real life experiences are the most unexpected. I mean, sometimes just the most boring, mundane day and the best joke in the world will come to you from something that happened earlier in that mundane day, or just because of the way your brain's working. So as a comedian, you're trying to always be alert and looking around for things that people might find funny or just find interesting and then try to make it funny. As a comedian who incorporates juggling into your act, don't really much anymore, but I'll answer this question. What unique opportunities or challenges does that present? People will always recently I booked a show doing comedy, and the venue wanted to know if I needed ceiling height. I was like, what? No, I'm not juggling. But that was always the thing, doing the juggling show. How big's the stage? How high? How much ceiling height do you need? And I would always be like, whatever, I can work with anything. And that's true, because it's always fun to do a juggling show in a low ceiling venue. I think it's silly. How do you handle criticism or negative feedback? Ugh. Do you help it find you grow as a comedian? How do I handle criticism? It's so weird to get criticism when you're just trying to do comedy, right? If you're not marginalizing a certain group or something, or making fun of certain people, wanting backlash, it's hard to get criticism. Although I will say, in all fairness, the Jesus on the Train video I did got a lot of criticism from people saying, blasphemy, sacrilegious, but I don't know. I think those people are just looking for something to get mad at because it's all pretty harmless jokes. Just kind of silly. Nothing too offensive, I don't think. But I'm, you know, everyone gets offended in different ways now. And some people are like, oh, comedy. What, can you even talk about anything these days without the fear of getting canceled? Like, people love to say canceled. I'm like, I don't know if cancel culture, honestly, is even a thing anymore. I mean, Joe Rogan said the N-word like 30 times. He's fine. Not saying that was a good thing. I'm just saying, like, you know, what people are gonna like who they like and watch who they want to watch now. And there's really there are gatekeepers when it comes to like TV shows and stuff like that, but I don't think there's, like, you can still make it on your own without needing a big network to get you famous if you have good content, I think. But here I am, so who knows? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let us pray. No, let's do some more. All right, last question. We did 20 questions pretty quickly, although I do apologize if my answers aren't good. I hadn't seen these questions in advance, so I hadn't rehearsed any answers, which if I ever do this again, I think I will rehearse that. What advice would you be giving to an aspiring comedian looking to break into the biz? Well, look, you just gotta do it. Like, I talk to a lot of comedians. A lot of comedians will message me, say, how do I do this? How do I do that? First, you gotta write. You gotta write your jokes. You gotta make sure they're your jokes, not anyone else's, that they're your jokes. After you write your jokes, you gotta go up on stage. Now, where do you find stage time? Well, go to an open mic. Go to, an open mic. I think that's it, right? And then always video record it. And then audio record and video, I think, is important to do both if you can. Listen to it back, find what works. People overwrite. They write too much stuff that you don't need to say. So delete all that. Forget all that stuff. And just concentrate on getting from A to B, the shortest route. That's going to be your best joke, okay? That's going to be the best way to write as well. Now, if you write every day, that's good. A lot of new comics will want to write about sex all the time. I try to stay away from that. I never really got into writing about sex. I still haven't written about it. Still haven't had it yet either, though. So, you know, they say write what you know. Anyway, I hope that helps. You know, communicate with other comics, network, become friends with them, hang out with them. It all helps. And be a good person and don't steal people's material, and you should be fine. All right, I hope that was helpful. Thanks for submitting these questions. Hope you have a good day. Come see me on the road. We got some road dates coming. We got the Patreon, $3 a month. I post videos to there, longer extended versions of videos, exclusive content. We have a book club going on. It's a good time. Check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Doggy by myself. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and or watch another one. Watch another video. Could be fun. I don't know. Could be cool. You're already this far. You're